We're just a few seconds out. We're at the top of the hour, guys. Welcome to TechSoup. This is a new member orientation. Thank you so much for sharing in the chat how long you've been a member and what you love about TechSoup. My name is Aretha Simons. I'm the webinar producer here, and I'm going to show you how you can engage on the next slide. Some of you have already been to our webinar, so you know that we will send you the recordings and the slides probably later today or early in the morning. Please use the chat or the Q&A functions to ask your questions. And if you want to see the closed caption, just type the CC button at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to move out the way. There's one thing I want to tell you. When you close out of Zoom, you'll see a survey, just 2 simple questions. We would love it if you take the time to fill it out. I'm going to turn this over to Nick Finn. You guys have a great webinar.
Thank you so much, Aretha. Hello, everybody. I would say good morning, but I know that not in every part of the U.S. where most folks are is it morning still, but it is here on the West Coast. So good morning from the West Coast. You've already met my wonderful colleague, Aretha Simons, who's a webinar producer here at TechSoup. My name is Nick Finn. I'm going to walk you through most of today's presentation. We'll also be joined by Kelly Garrett from the account management group, who'll share a little bit more about some details of how to navigate the specific product offers that are available on the TechSoup website for nonprofits. The big question probably that everybody asks at the start of their relationship with TechSoup is, what is TechSoup? Because we cover a lot of bases. We are engaged in a lot of different ways with technology in the nonprofit community. So I'm going to start with some answers to that question. And the first answer to what is TechSoup that I think is extremely important to share right up front is that TechSoup also is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have more than 400,000 nonprofit members. We support other nonprofits who are working with technology to build an equitable planet. We do that in a variety of ways. We host the world's best known catalog of technology product offers just for nonprofits. It includes major brands like Microsoft, Dell, Intuit, Adobe, and many more. We offer our own set of add-on technology services for nonprofits to help you manage your technology stack. We'll talk in more detail about what those services are. We also create courses, webinars, and other training opportunities for nonprofit staff who are learning how to use new technology or want to beef up their skills around technology in general. And like most of you, we also provide our own set of grant-based programming around issues like digital resilience, online disinformation, and cybersecurity. So we engage nonprofits at all sorts of levels around technology and all sorts of different technology products, services, and offers. But I think the thing that takes all of this into account and is most important to highlight for you is that we are a nonprofit just like you, right? Technology is a huge field. There are so many corporations and for-profit organizations out there who have great products and want to help nonprofits. But what makes TechSoup different is that we are a nonprofit, and so we understand the sector very well, and we are committed to the nonprofits in the sector, not just to the products and services and offers that are available to them. So we're here to help you. And with that said, I'm going to get into the meat of what some of it is that TechSoup does specifically to help nonprofits with technology. How does this work? Well, step one is that nonprofits join TechSoup by creating an account and submitting your tax documentation. This is how TechSoup knows that you are a legal nonprofit, that you meet the IRS definition of a nonprofit. And as soon as you've done that with TechSoup, that means you've opened the door to accessing the catalog, the offers, the services that I spoke about in the prior slide. Once you've submitted that tax information to TechSoup, you need to choose a membership level with TechSoup. We offer 3 different membership levels, which I'll talk about in the next slide. And finally, Once we have validated all of that information, you can then use those catalog of offers that I talked about and engage with us more deeply on whatever the technology issue is that you need specific assistance with. So let's talk about the specific thing about joining TechSoup, right? So if you are not already a member, you would need to join TechSoup in the top right-hand corner of your screen right here on the TechSoup website. That's going to take you through the submission of those documents that I talked about, setting up a valid email account, that kind of thing. Once you've done that, then once we have that information from you, then we can go through the process of getting you verified to use the catalog. Choosing your membership level, well, you've got three options with TechSoup. And I want to be super clear, like for some folks who've been around for a long, long time, we used to be just one membership. You joined TechSoup and that was it. But over time, we've come to understand that there really are differing levels of need within the nonprofit community. And so we've established these membership levels as a way to meet those different levels of needs. The primary membership level that most of you are familiar with is called DIY. There is no cost to join the DIY membership level at TechSoup, and it gives you basic access to the technology catalog I've spoken about and some of the grant-funded content that we produce, right? But DIY, as the name suggests, is really for organizations that are ready to do it themselves. They know what their technology is, they understand how to manage it. All they want is access to the catalog specifically so that they can get some of the products and services they need and be on their merry way. But truthfully, what we also understand is that for most nonprofits, DIY is just not enough. Nonprofits often have a huge gap in the need for technology expertise and, in fact, what they're able to support in their day-to-day mission, right? Most nonprofit workers wear multiple hats every day. You're engaged in lots of different functions at your nonprofit, and finding nonprofits who have a dedicated chief technology officer, for instance, is extremely rare. Nonprofits can't really afford to have a CTO. And sometimes we even find that, in fact, the technology leader at a nonprofit is somebody who's at the admin desk and does really well with technology, and they kind of end up by default being the person who helps manage things. In many cases also, you do have an IT manager or an IT director, but those people are so overloaded and busy all the time troubleshooting every single technology issue that comes up in their nonprofit. So for folks who need more technology resources than just what the DIY level affords, there are two more membership levels that you could join at TechSoup. One is called Boost. Boost is a $99 annual fee. With Boost, you get access to some special additional discounts in the catalog. These are offers that are limited time, or maybe there's a limited count of something that's available. You also get that grant-funded content that I spoke about, and you get a pretty good 50% discount on all the 100 and 200 level courses at TechSoup. One step up from that, finally, is what we call Quad. Quad is a $200 yearly membership fee for every nonprofit that joins Quad, right? And Quad is, from TechSoup's view, kind of the biggest, best part of how TechSoup can have a relationship with and serve the nonprofit community. Quad is an entire online platform, and it provides you all the things that you've heard about through the DIY and Boost membership, but it also includes live interaction with other community members who may well be working in the same field you're working in. And I don't mean nonprofits, but I think more specifically like the mission area. So one mission area that TechSoup engages in a lot is organizations that are addressing food insecurity, right? And boy, giving them the opportunity to talk to each other outside of just conferences that might be regional, but like an entire national dialogue around how technology can help, that's incredibly valuable. There's a lot of events taking place in Quad all the time with all sorts of different learning objectives in there. I saw folks in the chat already talk about how much they love the webinars. Quad is really just like the best place to go to really get the deepest engagement with TechSoup. So if you feel like your organization needs a lot of help with technology and all kinds of help with technology, I'd really encourage you to look at Quad. It is probably the most helpful space that TechSoup offers in terms of helping nonprofits deal with tech. Okay, enough of the membership piece of this, right? This is the path that you have to walk in order to get access to the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the offers, the services, the products, the things that can help nonprofits manage their technology stack. Broadly, we might call it just the product catalog. I'll assume at this point you've been to the TechSoup.org website. And when you do, there are two paths to seeing all of the offers available to you. Obviously, up in the navigation at the top of the page, you've got that products drop down. And then also you can hit the browse catalog bar, right, or button right there in the middle of the page. That takes you to a series of different offers available through TechSoup. And I'm now going to talk about a couple of the major brands that really drive a lot of engagement. The first is obviously Microsoft, who have a long-standing relationship with TechSoup and early in TechSoup's own existence. By the way, we've been around for more than 30 years at this point, serving the nonprofit community. We are not a new organization. We have been doing this for some time. But Microsoft early on really strongly encouraged us to dream big about what nonprofits really needed. And we've been working in partnership with them for decades in all sorts of different ways. I'm going to click through to what we see in the Microsoft offers, get through that AI piece of it first. And I'm also going to just quickly turn off my bookmarks bar here so that that's not in the way. So let's talk about the Microsoft options that are available to nonprofits through TechSoup. Well, what is all the rage these days? Of course, it's AI. And I bet lots of people on this call have experimented with the AI. Maybe some folks are big users of AI, and there's probably been a lot of variety in what your experience has been, which platforms you use, how has it been helpful? Maybe you distrust it. The one AI offer that we do have in the catalog at the moment is Microsoft Copilot. It's available to nonprofits starting at $306 a year. This is not a discounted rate for nonprofits. I believe this is the market rate still, but it's available through TechSoup, and you can administer it through TechSoup. And we can help you with AI and Copilot in particular. Most nonprofits out there using Microsoft are using at this point Office 365, which is the cloud online version of the familiar Office suite of productivity programs that you're used to using, like Excel and Word, PowerPoint, all those kinds of things. But this is the cloud-based version, and we offer several different licensing configurations there. We take a specific interest in making sure that nonprofits get the licenses they need, not the licenses they think they need, because often there's a huge difference, and you can actually pay a lot less for the license that meets what your needs are, and we can help you make those decisions. And then beyond those, if you have deeper use of Microsoft products at your nonprofit, there are quite a bit available in the TechSoup catalog. We do have Windows upgrades, and then more technical platforms that folks use, Visual Studio, Azure servers, and Dynamics CRM. We have special offers for computer labs, particularly with some Office products. In any case, there's quite a bit here in the TechSoup catalog from Microsoft, and definitely recommend that if your nonprofit is a Microsoft user, you should be looking at TechSoup as a path for those programs and for help using them. Right. Moving on from Microsoft, another major donor or major brand in our catalog is Adobe. We'll take a quick look at some of the Adobe offers that are available to nonprofits. Right off the bat, Creative Cloud. If you work in communications or design or website design in particular within the nonprofit sector, you know very well what Adobe Creative Cloud is. It is available to nonprofits through TechSoup at a very good rate. We also have Adobe Express, which is a more streamlined version of Adobe's design and production capabilities. It is more something that you might find perhaps a social media manager using to quickly output graphics and text for an ad or organic social post. Um, if you've used Creative Cloud in the past, you know that you need quite a bit of expertise and experience working with those programs. It takes some time to come up to speed, but Adobe Express is designed to be a lot more user-friendly and easier to quickly get up to speed. Um, we also have a Photoshop Elements, which we call Pepe internally. That's a digital image and video editing suite. But Creative Cloud and Adobe Express really constitute the bulk of what folks are coming to TechSoup for Adobe from these days. So if you're an Adobe user, your nonprofit wants to be an Adobe user, we are a great path forward for you on that. Intuit QuickBooks is another huge offer available through TechSoup for nonprofits. We were really surprised again during the pandemic 5 years ago to learn how many nonprofits out there are still relying on a paper and pencil accounting system. Shouldn't do that anymore. There's definitely much better paths available to you. Even a basic Excel spreadsheet is going to be better than that, but really you want a formalized accounting package. Intuit QuickBooks Online really is what we see most nonprofits really taking advantage of in that regard. And if you're thinking of making that switch, TechSoup can definitely help you with that. We do also have specifically a service that allows you to upgrade an old QuickBooks. Perhaps you have a desktop QuickBooks version that you want to upgrade to QuickBooks Online, and we can help you. We can help you do that upgrade. There are many, many more brands in the TechSoup catalog, and it's really worth exploring in some time to see what else is in there that might be of interest to your nonprofit. Um, so we just called out those brands in particular because they see so many, they just see a lot of traffic. Um, Folks who've known TechSoup for a long time also have often thought of us really as more of a software outlet, but in fact, we have a lot of well-priced hardware for nonprofits to take advantage of. And I want to dive into that for a second because there's always an appetite and need for new hardware as stuff becomes obsolete, out of date. You add more staff, et cetera, et cetera. And we're talking about much more than just laptops and desktops. We have a pretty good line of mobile devices now that are available through TechSoup. We do, of course, have the desktops and laptops that I just mentioned. Um, of particular interest, we also carry refurbished desktops, laptops, and monitors. And this is a cogent point to just focus on for 1 second because it goes back to this notion of TechSoup being a nonprofit who's really caring about how technology impacts the world. And in this case, we were one of the early voices saying it's not appropriate for civilization just to like buy new computers every 2 years and throw the old ones in the junk heap, that's an incredibly not green practice. And we need to do much more reusing, reducing, and recycling. And so we really help pioneer the interest in refurbished computers where you go and you take a computer that may be a couple of years old, you make sure that the memory is wiped, but you also make sure that the hardware in that computer is up to spec. This is accomplished through a refurbisher partner. And then those units are available at a much lower rate and can really help nonprofits save some money by going through refurbished instead of brand new devices. If you do want brand new, of course, we do have relationships with Dell, with HP, with Lenovo, and we can help you on the path to that. Um, Networking equipment is another big need that lots of nonprofits have that is resurfacing these days. We have a long, healthy relationship with Cisco and Cisco Meraki, and they're not the only ones. But if networking is on your list of hardware or tech acquisition in the coming year, you should definitely check out the TechSoup catalog on that. security cameras, sensors, accessories, headsets, on and on. Lots of hardware available through TechSoup. And the main thing I want to just call out is that we have that stuff as well. And so don't just think about software when you're at TechSoup. There's much more. Um, Now, as we have been serving this sector for, as I said, over 30 years, we've learned quite a bit about how technology does and does not always work in the nonprofit sector. And, a lot of these lessons apply to small business, medium-sized business as well. Um, Over time, what we have developed is a series of services um, that we deploy. These are not free services, by the way. These are paid services, but they're much more affordable than you might find out on the open market. More importantly, because you're getting it through TechSoup, you can know that these services are specifically designed, implemented, and intended for nonprofits, not for big businesses. And then you have to figure out how to make it work for your nonprofit. They are specifically designed for how nonprofits work, what nonprofits can afford, and what different technology products nonprofits are already using. So let's talk about the services. Um, there's some highlights right here on the slide that I think are really worth calling out. We offer a managed IT service, which is a large package that you can work with TechSoup and one of our partners, Tech Impact, on providing. What this does is help you manage your entire nonprofit technology stack, right? Planning ahead for upgrades, planning ahead for when things are no longer usable, making sure that licensing is correct, making sure that even upgrades are put in place, updates are happening, that your tech system is secure, right? That people are trained properly to use devices that you've got or platforms that you have. Um, if your nonprofit really is struggling to manage its overall technology stack, managed IT service through TechSoup is really a great way to go. We have a help desk service, which is much smaller in scale, designed really if you need specific help with one specific thing. Um, and we provide lots of support for organizations using Microsoft 365. Again, going back to that whole Microsoft stack that we've been involved with for a long, long time. If you're working with Microsoft 365, hopefully you've got it through TechSoup because we can really be helpful for you in terms of making sure you've got the licenses that you need, not more than you need, and managing the complexities behind the scenes of how to allocate, how to manage, troubleshoot, etc. Um, Another set of services that we're really proud about are the website, digital marketing, and AI services that we can provide to nonprofits now. Each of these is a standalone service, but we've also found over time that nonprofits often are thinking about all three things together. Certainly in the case of AI, because there's so much use of AI in building websites or keeping websites updated or producing digital marketing, there's just some natural matches here. So if your nonprofit is really thinking right now, and frankly, what nonprofit isn't, that my website really needs help, I need to make some upgrades, I need to make some changes. Do I even need a whole new site? I don't know. Who do I ask? I don't know. How do I find a vendor to help on this? Wow, that's time consuming. Come to TechSoup, talk to us about it. We can help you get a service going to address those issues, to figure out what you should do with your website, to help you do better in your digital marketing, to help you figure out how you could use AI, how not to use AI. So those are all services available through TechSoup. As I mentioned earlier, we have a QuickBooks migration service, which is great when you're trying to take an old version of QuickBooks, migrate it into the new version of QuickBooks Online. These are really just the beginning, though. I'm going to click through here, hopefully to the live site, and quickly share that, in fact, we have a whole host of service topics there that are worth you taking a look at. And these are all available on the Live TechSoup site under the Services tab there up in the navigation. And so, yeah, if you need help, I definitely recommend that you go and you take a look at that stuff. Okay, now, the other thing that TechSoup also has beyond products and services and hardware is human beings. And these days, it's harder and harder and harder to know that the big organizations you interact with, what are the faces of the people, who are the people helping you. But we have people at TechSoup whose job it is to help you with technology. And one of the big groups here is the customer success group. Um, the customer success group is really here to help you figure out how to take advantage of technology and how to make sure that the products or services that you've brought into your nonprofit from TechSoup, like, are you getting the most out of them? Are you succeeding with them? Are they helping? Are there different things that you should be thinking about? That's what the customer success team is about. And we have some great folks in there. They have a lot of experience around this stuff. But a lot of it is really because what they do is they engage directly with nonprofits. So you can set up meetings with these folks. You can talk through some detailed technological needs or questions that you have, and they can help you discuss RFPs around scope of work that we might be able to help you with. They're specialized, they are experts, and they can really help. So that's the customer success team at TechSoup. Um, and I want to sort of draw like now a broader difference here. So the customer success team helps you with tech, right? They're going to help you with Microsoft or whatever the object, whatever the program, platform, brand, et cetera, is that you're thinking about. We have a different group at TechSoup also that is account management and client services. And these folks help you manage your TechSoup account itself. And why would that matter? Well, often nonprofits have quite a bit of staff turnover. So, for instance, you may want to add new users to your TechSoup account who can then use the TechSoup catalog. You may need to take old users out of your account. You may be having trouble getting a fulfillment email from TechSoup around a particular product that you have acquired. Or you just may have questions about how does this all work? How am I supposed to like use the catalog, make a payment, etc. And that's really what the account management or client services group can really do for you. So I'm going to bring forward now somebody I've done a lot of work with now for some years, Kelly Garrett, who's Associate Manager at the Account Management Group. Kelly's going to walk you through some of these frequent questions that are worth kind of answering on the front end here. And so with that, Kelly, if you want to come forward, and I will just turn off my video and walk folks through the slides as you do it. Okay? Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you so much. I'm going to try sharing my video. Sometimes it does like to cut out on me. So if I start losing my audio, I may hide my face again. But welcome everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. For my part, for the customer service side of things, I wanted to go over a couple things that members contact us about, and I've actually already seen a couple questions about this in our webinar chat and also in the Q&A where people have been putting in their questions. So first things first is a lot of members come to customer service asking, well, what's the price of it? How do I add it to my cart? Where is it? So when you go to the TechSoup website, the catalog that we've been showing you is for our DIY members. You don't have to pay a fee to access this catalog. You don't have to, be a Boost member, a Quad member to access it. You can just join as a DIY member for free, go through the registration process, get qualified, verified, and then you'll have access to the catalog. When you do get access to the catalog, each one of the partners, so Intuit provides their QuickBooks Online nonprofits offers. They set their own eligibility standards. I saw someone in the chat asking about Adobe eligibility. Each of our partners sets their own eligibility standards to meet their philanthropic goals. So not one organization is going to be eligible for every single thing in our catalog here. But when you do find a product or a service that you're interested in requesting, that's when you'll want to go and click on it. So you've gone through one of the options that Nick's highlighted before on the top right, or sorry, top left corner of the window. So either donor or company, category, or hardware. You've navigated through, you see something you're interested in, you click on it, you're taken to this product page or offer page. This is where you're going to find all the information you need about that offer. So first you'll see the name of the product at the top. You'll then see underneath the name of the product, you'll see, what donor partner or corporate partner donated or discounted this offer. You'll see what categories it falls under. This is accounting and cloud computing software. It goes into if it's available or if it's out of stock. We do have products go out of stock sometimes. It just depends on how many licenses, keys, activations the partner's given TechSoup to give out. Once you are logged in, you will see the orange add to cart button. That's how you'll add a product to your cart. The admin fee is per quantity. So for this, one QuickBooks Online Plus is $80, and that is an annual fee, which you can learn more about the products underneath it. So underneath there, you'll see there's 3 tabs of information. For the folks that were asking, well, how do I know what the admin fee is? And, what is the extra fees that are involved in this and that? You'll find all of that information when you start scrolling down this page. If you see a product that says access to discounted rates in its name, so this product doesn't have that in its name, there's no extra fees to this. But if you see one that says access to discounted rates, that's when you'll pay a fee, the admin fee to TechSoup, and then you'll pay a discounted rate to the partner. Some examples of that is Adobe's got a couple cloud products like that where you pay a $5 admin fee and then you pay Adobe a discounted rate. There's some other ones out there as well. But if you don't see access to discounted rates, you're not paying extra to the partner usually. So you'll see the admin fee. That's the admin fee. You scroll down, click through the description tab. There's the middle tab, subscription details, and there's a far right tab that's rules, eligibility, and restrictions. Always click through all 3 of those. Those usually will answer all of your questions about what's the discounted rate, what's included in this, can new subscribers get access to this? All of that's covered in the product page. So really like to highlight that for our members, that this is where they need to go and click through, and you just want to make sure you scroll all the way through, read through everything, because most of the products are non-refundable and non-exchangeable. So you want to be sure about your product before you check out. Perfect. Next slide, please. So this is where I was highlighting, there's the different tabs of information. You'll see this one talks about continuing service after a year. This is a subscription product, so you do have an annual fee. There's information about it on the product page here. You just go to that middle tab, and then it links you to our different articles on TechSoup support, which will explain to you what the renewal process looks like. Next slide, please. So TechSoup support is available. If you go to the top of the right-hand corner of the window for TechSoup.org, you'll see a help next to where you log in or where your icon is when you're logged in. So if you click on the help, you can select TechSoup support, and that will take you to our support landing page. Next slide, please. Sorry about that. Looks like there's a slide missing. There is in the support section, can you go back one slide, please, Nick? Thank you. So once you're in here, you'll see that there is a search bar here. There are a couple boxes here that you will click on. So we have a general product support, we have Microsoft specific support, and we have general support. There's also promoted articles that you'll see below there. So once you click through these things, you'll be taken to the different sections, and you can click on the different articles that should give you a good breakdown and answer any questions you have about different programs, products, general things about your account management, stuff along those lines. Next slide, please. So there is, we've already kind of gone over earlier with Nick what the difference between the teams are. So our service is general customer service. We can help you with your account management of TechSoup.org. So like Are you having trouble logging in? Do you need to have a new representative added to your organization's account? Are you having trouble navigating the TechSoup website? Stuff like that we can assist you with. Also, if you have any questions about eligibility, like why is my organization not eligible? It could have to do with your mission, it could have to do with your location, number of employees, things along those lines. So if you have any questions about eligibility, we can help you with that. Once you start getting into more in-depth support needs, such as download and installation of products, launching new systems, things along those lines, that's when you really want to go to the services and solutions and request one of those services. Very small fee for a lot of support. So that's where you want to go, since customer service is not IT professionals. We're just general account manager, things along those lines. Please go back. Perfect. So, and the last one, of course, is customer success. Customer success is going to be the one that can help you pick the right product for you. So if you need recommendations, you need extensive quotes, you need help picking the right IT support service, customer success is going to be there for you. Perfect. Next slide, please. Awesome. So how to contact us. So TechSoup does currently offer live chat support only with our own limited resources in these difficult times. We have opted to support a live chat feature. It's where we're best putting our resources. And before, we did offer about 2 years ago a phone service, but we have limited that down to live chat support. And this again was done to help ourselves as a nonprofit ourselves, stretch our resources and focus our resources in the best places we can. And so we found that live chat was able to serve the most amount of our members. We have had some closures lately. So due to the holiday weekend from 4th of July, and we did some systems upgrades going on. So always recommend checking on TechSoup support, which these two links go to, what our current hours of operations are, and also when we have closures. A lot of times when folks report that they weren't able to get into our live chat, it's because they're in a different time zone than us and they are outside of our hours of operation. Other things that can block live chat is security features on your browser. A lot of times ad blocks and pop-up window blockers block you from access our live chat. So which of these two articles go over. So whenever you're trying to get in touch with customer service, utilize our live chat. We do have real folks in there answering questions. It starts off with an AI bot just giving you some information, and then you are connected with a real person, one of our TechSoup representatives. So it's a great way to get in touch with us, and we will assist you the best we can. Perfect. Perfect. And so this is just the screenshots highlighting where you will find your help bubble, which is where you start off by typing things in, and that's how you can get access to TechSoup support articles. It will point you to different information resources. Once you're in there, you just type contact, customer service, something like that, and it'll give you the option to chat with us. So all of that's in the bottom right window. And if you don't see that help bubble, it means your browser's blocking a pop-up window. So that's the number one thing I've heard from members is once they turn off their ad blockers and pop-up window blockers or get off their VPN, that usually allows them to get into the live chat.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Kelly.
And I do see there's a bunch of questions in there, so I will try to hop in and answer some of those questions now.
Super, thank you. Yeah, I know folks have a lot of questions in the chat there. We are going to try to process each of those questions and get answers to you. And I want to thank you for spending your time with us today. We are at almost the 40-minute mark. As Aretha did call out at the beginning, there is a brief 2-question post-event survey, which we'd love to get your feedback on if you would. And again, just to pull it all back together for you, our mission as a nonprofit like you, our mission is to support nonprofits working with technology and to help you build a more equitable planet. That is very different than the models of corporations and folks who create technology products, right? They are for-profit entities, and I think it makes a great deal of difference to work with a nonprofit in these times. We understand what the sector's going through. We understand the pressures all of you must face right now. And I want to say thank you to each of you for the decision you've made to work in the nonprofit community, to serve your community in some way, to help make the world a better place. You will receive a link to the PowerPoint, or well, sorry, the slide deck that we've used in this presentation. It has live links in it. You'll be able to follow those links to the various pages on the TechSoup site that I called out. And with that, I grant you the rest of your day back. Thanks for spending the time with us. And we'll keep the webinar open here for a minute or two as we try to answer the rest of those questions in chat. Okay? Thank you
Yeah,
so
and
much.
I would love to just hop in and just quickly address one or two of them. So uh for admin fees, yes, admin fees are going to be per license. So if you have a quantity of one, like the example I was showing you was QuickBooks Online, it has an admin fee of 80. If you were allowed to request more than one, Intuit only allows you to request one subscription for one organization's use. If you were able to request, say, 5, it would be 80 times 5. So when you update your quantity on the product page or in your cart, you will see that amount reflect 5 times whatever the admin fee is. And I do see appointment software, volunteer management. Yes, I recommend Desmond, if you go to our website and go to the catalog, in the top left corner is categories. And I think you'll see that there's some there's volunteer management, project management. There's a couple different options in there that I think will jump out at you. And if needed, you can get in touch with our customer success team. They do have an alias that I'll drop into the chat webinar right now. It's solutions@TechSoup.org. And again, this is for TechSoup customer success. They help with strategizing what your organization needs, giving you quotes, helping you pick the right product. They don't provide account support. They don't provide regular customer service support. That's something you want to go to the live chat for. So solutions@TechSoup.org will be for customer success for any recommendations that you're looking for. I'm plotting that into the so that is in there. And then if you need to figure out how to use the live chat, I recommend following our article, which I'll drop into the chat right now too. That one.
Kelly, while you're doing that, there's a question in the chat. If you could read it out loud and answer it, please. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. I'm going to drop this in here. Perfect. So there's the solutions alias for TechSoup customer success. And then underneath it, you'll see the 2 articles on how to contact customer service. And the other one is, sorry, the second one I put is there. And the second article is how to troubleshoot any issues. So far, all that troubleshooting does work. So I highly recommend following all that 12 steps of troubleshooting if you run into any issues. And let's see here. So we need some guidance on hardware for a specific program. Who can we set up a call to discuss our needs? Customer success would be the best person to reach out to at that solutions alias. They'll get back to you within a couple business days and can help arrange they do calls, they do emails, they do all of that for consultations. I think that took care of the last couple questions that I saw in there. And I do see we've had several questions about the Microsoft changes. I do recommend, let me grab that information for you guys too. So Microsoft's cloud subscriptions, not their on-prem desktop ones, are making a transition. They're basically getting rid of some of the donated products that they had. So I'm going to put into the general chat a link to the TechSoup support article that goes over that and how to transition. So that's in there. There's how to transition. And I'll also put in the discontinued announcement. The discontinuation happened on July 1st, but it doesn't affect folks until their first renewal date after that July 1st. So you might have some time, you might already experience it, you might not even be affected. You want to make sure you go over there. It's business premium and E1 licenses that were previously donated are now going to be discounted instead, and you do have to transition over to them. So I hope that answers your question, Beth.
Okay, folks, I think that reaches the end of our Q&A here. Thanks so much again for your time, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much, Kelly, for all those questions and answers you have fielded. With that, we're going to end the webinar here. And you know, like I said, watch out for the email follow-up with the deck in it. You can click through those links. Appreciate your attention on that brief survey if you can. Okay, thanks so much.